Welcome to the official podcast series by Potenza, where innovation meets insight. In this series, we dive deep into the world of SAP, explore the power of robotic process automation, and unlock the true potential of data analytics. Whether you're a tech enthusiast, a business leader, or just curious about the digital transformation shaping our world, you're in the right place. Tune in, stay curious, and let's explore the future of enterprise technology together. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on YouTube for more powerful insights. Now, let's get into today's episode.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something fundamental, a huge shift that's reshaping the whole corporate world. Think about business process automation, BPA, right? It used to give companies a real edge, but now it's fast becoming the absolute baseline just to stay in the game. We're seeing organizations, the ones not fully embracing intelligent automation, they're not just lagging, they're genuinely risking becoming obsolete in this super digital economy we're in. So the big question now isn't really if you should automate, it's how you do it. And that's exactly our focus today. The absolutely critical role of business process automation consultancy services. These firms, they aren't just tech vendors pushing software. No, they're more like architects guiding these big enterprises through that incredibly complex journey, transforming those old manual ways into smart, streamlined workflows. So our mission for you today, we're diving deep, looking at the huge opportunities, the really profound advantages, some you might not expect, and the specific services these consultants bring to the table. This is for you, whether you're prepping for a big meeting, trying to stay ahead, or just curious how businesses are actually managing to thrive right now.
It is interesting, isn't it? A lot of people think automation is just about speed. And yeah, speed's a big part of it, sure. But what's really fascinating, I think, is the sheer complexity involved. Taking these deep-rooted manual processes and turning them into, intelligent workflows, that's where the expert consultants really earn their keep. It's not just plugging in tech. It's about making sure the automation strategy actually lines up with the core business goals. It's about navigating organizational change, which is always tricky. And maybe most importantly, delivering ROI you can actually measure and sustain. If you zoom out, look at the bigger picture. For companies everywhere, especially in places like Australia, the conversation's totally shifted. It's not should we anymore. It's how do we do this fast, effectively, and crucially, with the right partner.
Rapidly and effectively, yeah, that hits the nail on the head. And let's talk effectiveness by looking at the sheer scale of this opportunity first. The numbers around intelligent automation, they're not just big, they're frankly kind of explosive. We're talking the RPA market, plus all the broader intelligent automation stuff. Projected CGRs, compound annual growth rates, somewhere between 25 to 35% through 2030. I mean, just think about that growth curve. It's already over $15 billion globally, and analysts see it hitting over $50 billion in just the next 5 years. Okay, but here's what I find really compelling. Despite all that massive growth, there's this huge gap. Study after study shows something like 45% of the tasks people do at work could be automated right now with tech that exists today. Yet, most big companies, they've only automated maybe less than 15% of those processes. That's just a massive untapped pool of potential value sitting there. And what's pushing it from the top? Well, executive buy-in is sky high. Almost all IT leaders, 98%, are now directly connecting automation projects to real financial gains. And the CFOs.
They're increasingly prioritizing these investments, not just for saving money, but seeing it as a key way to get ahead of the competition. So the C-suite, they're definitely paying attention. They're demanding action.
Yeah, and that really raises an important question, doesn't it? Why are the large enterprises the main ones driving all this consulting revenue? Well, it mostly comes down to two things: scale and complexity. Just because of their size, automating even one process, maybe something that seems minor, across thousands of employees, different countries, the gains aren't just added up, they multiply exponentially. You see research like from Deloitte, McKinsey, constantly showing that these big players get the highest automation ROI, often 30 to 200% back in the first year alone, and potentially up to 300% long-term. They've also got the budgets, let's be honest, for the big strategic solutions, not just quick fixes. But there's also the complexity piece that sometimes gets missed. Big companies deal with messy legacy systems, really strict compliance rules, intricate webs of stakeholders. These aren't just small hurdles. They're exactly why you need specialized consultants who actually know how to navigate all that. That's where the demand comes from.
Right, that complexity. And when you layer on specific local factors, things get even more interesting in certain places. Australia is a great example. It's a really fertile ground for these automation consultancy services right now. We're seeing pretty significant growth there, and it's driven by some unique local conditions. Firstly, Australia's high labor costs. That just makes the ROI calculation for automation look incredibly good. I mean, if you can automate repetitive tasks for way less than ongoing staff costs, the business case basically writes itself. But it's more than just costs. Australia also has these persistent skill shortages in really key industries. So automation stops being just about saving money and becomes, well, operationally necessary just to keep things running smoothly, maintain quality. And there's another big piece, modernizing those old legacy systems. Lots of Australian companies are running on pretty dated tech that creates drag, inefficiencies, risks. So consultants who are really good at bridging those old systems with the latest intelligent automation platforms, they're commanding premium rates. Absolutely. And here's something that maybe shifts the perspective a bit. This automation consultancy work, it's increasingly the foundation for bigger things like redesigning the workforce, driving digital transformation mandates. It's really not about just cutting jobs. It's about freeing people up from the routine stuff, letting them focus on higher value work, creative thinking, strategy, things machines can't do. It helps the company compete globally. It really can be a win-win when done right.
That's such a key point. It's easy to just focus on cost cutting, but the real transformation comes from those quantifiable performance and efficiency boosts that spread across the whole company. With good consultants involved, you typically see productivity jumps of, say, 40 to 60% in the processes they target. Alongside that, cost reductions usually fall between 25 and 50%. And compliance accuracy, dramatic improvements, often like 99% plus error reduction. Imagine, almost eliminating errors in crucial financial reporting or operations. That's huge. And these aren't just isolated fixes, they compound. Optimizing core processes helps build this operational excellence that lifts everything: customer satisfaction, even employee morale.
That's a really powerful ripple effect. And it leads straight into maybe one of the most important but often misunderstood benefits: strategically redeploying your people, your human talent. I think the knee-jerk reaction for some is, oh, automation just means job losses. But that's really a very narrow view. Good consultants focus on designing implementations that actually redirect human skills. Towards what? Towards creative problem solving, strategic thinking, building relationships, stuff humans excel at. So you get this double benefit, right? The company keeps all that valuable institutional knowledge, which is critical when things are changing, and the employees, they get more engaging, higher value work. In fact, research keeps showing that people working alongside automation often report higher job satisfaction. They see more chances to innovate, clear paths for career growth. It really is about boosting human potential, not replacing it.
Exactly. And that strategic focus is why consultants with proven methods are so valuable. They drastically cut down the implementation risks. Because without that expert guidance, companies often trip up. You see scope creep, picking the wrong tech, or crucially failing on the change management side. And those mistakes, they can push out your ROI by months, maybe even years. It gets expensive fast. Contrast that with professional consultants. Using their frameworks, they consistently hit those impressive returns we talked about: 30 to 200% ROI in year one, sometimes over 300% long term. That's not luck. It comes from being really good at finding the high impact opportunities first and knowing how to scale solutions properly across the whole business. Plus, their impact goes deeper than just the immediate fix. They're often catalysts for broader cultural shifts, things like fostering innovation, moving towards more agile ways of working, really making decisions based on data. They get that change management isn't an afterthought, it's fundamental. Handling communications, training, dealing with resistance. It's all key to making the change stick. And here's a pro tip for you.
Make absolutely sure your automation goals tie directly back to core business KPIs. Things like cost, speed, compliance. Otherwise, you risk doing tech for tech's sake, and that gets expensive and doesn't deliver real value.
That's a super important point. Okay, so if that's the expertise, what does it actually look like when these consultants get to work? What services are we talking about?
Well, it really all starts with building a solid foundation. That means comprehensive process assessment and developing the automation strategy. The top firms, they start with incredibly detailed process discovery. It's not just sketching flowcharts. It's like forensic work, mapping current workflows, pinpointing every little inefficiency, and then rigorously quantifying the potential improvements. And the output from that is critical. You get these detailed automation roadmaps, all prioritized based on ROI, how complex they are, and how well they fit the overall strategy. They build these really solid business cases to get that executive buy-in we mentioned and set clear, measurable goals for everything. This planning phase also looks at the bigger picture, the enterprise-wide architecture, making sure each automation project builds on the others, so you get compound benefits, not just isolated pockets of improvement.
Right. And that strategic plan then informs how you navigate the tech landscape, which, let's face it, can be pretty confusing. You've got RPA for the repetitive stuff, AI, machine learning for more cognitive tasks, intelligent document processing for handling messy, unstructured data, complex workflow tools. The key thing is good consultants aren't tied to selling one specific technology. Their job is to match the right tech solutions to your specific business needs. So they'll do a deep dive into your existing IT setup, figure out the integration challenges, look at scalability for the future. Then they recommend a tech stack that's actually going to work best in your environment. After that comes the solution design. That gets into the nitty-gritty. The technical architecture, making sure the user experience is good, planning how it integrates operationally. Because automated systems don't just need to be powerful, they also need to be, intuitive for the people who have to work with them every day.
Okay, so you've got the design, then it's about making it real, right? Consultants usually move from concept to results by starting small, often with proofs of concept or POCs. These are so valuable. They let you demonstrate the value quickly, minimize risk, test your approach, refine things, and crucially build confidence inside the organization before you go for a big enterprise-wide deployment. After the pilot proves successful, then comes the scaling phase. This is where you take what you learned and roll out the automation more broadly across departments, maybe different countries or business units. Consultants bring that project management discipline needed to keep quality high and make sure the business keeps running smoothly during the transition. And underpinning all of this is that critical piece we keep mentioning, sophisticated change management. That means really engaging with all the stakeholders, addressing employee worries head on, getting buy-in at every level. It's absolutely essential. Training is part of it too, but it's more than just, here's how to use the new software. It's about explaining the new workflows, clarifying how roles might evolve, and even highlighting new career opportunities that automation can create. Many consultants also help set up what are called Automation Centers of Excellence, COEs. These are really important for building that internal capability and making sure the automation efforts are sustainable long-term.
Absolutely right. Because automation is never really a set it and forget it kind of deal. It needs constant attention, continuous monitoring, optimization, ongoing support. That's what keeps it delivering value. Professional consulting firms often offer managed services for this. They track the KPIs, proactively look for ways to improve things further, and they implement updates to keep the automation aligned as the business itself changes over time. This ongoing relationship is what ensures those initial investments keep paying off, adapting to market shifts, new regulations, or internal priorities. So another pro tip for you, don't just automate the easy stuff. Really focus your efforts on processes that have a big enterprise-level impact. Think high-volume transactions, areas heavy on compliance, or anything critical to bringing in revenue. That's where you get the biggest bang for your buck. And to really make it last and build self-sufficiency, invest seriously in that Automation Center of Excellence, that COE. It really is the foundation for good governance, scaling effectively, and empowering your own people to own and drive automation beyond that first big push.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's just really hammer home that core message one last time. Business process automation consultancy. It's so much more than just putting in new technology. It's really about comprehensive transformation strategies, blending that careful strategic planning, the expert tech execution, sophisticated change management, and critically, that commitment to continuous improvement. And the evidence we've looked at today, it seems overwhelmingly clear. Companies that partner with specialized automation consultants, they tend to achieve better ROI, they get there faster, and maybe most importantly, the results are more sustainable in the long run. So what's the bottom line for you, whether you're leading a company or influencing its path? Automation isn't optional anymore. It's moved from being an efficiency booster to basically mandatory competitive infrastructure. And choosing the right consultancy partner in this landscape, that decision could genuinely be the difference between real transformative success and a very costly disruptive failure.
Which leaves us with, I think, a really provocative question for you to chew on. If this shift in the corporate landscape is real, if intelligent automation truly is the new baseline for survival, what does that actually mean for businesses that choose not to go down this path comprehensively? The ones that don't engage with expert guidance? How is their ability to innovate going to be affected? Their agility, their power to actually lead in their market? Not just thinking about today, but 5-10 years down the line, it feels like it's not just about keeping up anymore. It's really about who is setting the pace and shaping what comes next.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Potenza podcast series, where we decode SAP, automate with RPA, and analyze with precision. We hope you found today's conversation insightful and inspiring. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the technologies transforming tomorrow's enterprise. Got questions or ideas for a future episode? Drop them in the comments, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time. Thank you.